morning, people. I've just turned on to the Cunningham Highway. We're going to go up over the gap, and hopefully we're going to go into Arratula and find a place called the Governor's Chair. It's a lookout spot. Yeah, a bit of history behind it, but anyway, if we can find it, we'll tell you all about it when we get there. So we'll cruise along the highway here, and I'll bring you out when we're coming up over the gap. You would have seen it on some of my previous videos, but it's been a while since I've been over it, and it's always a spectacular view. So see ya when we get to the gap. So this is the base of the gap as we start to climb up, and the first thing I get is stuck behind a caravan. But that's on a par for these days. There's so many caravans on the road. Oh, overtaking lane, you beauty. Let's zoom around this guy. Sign back there saying there's roadworks on the gap, so there's going to, well, it's a Sunday, so whether they're working on the Sunday or not, we'll find out. But and it's a good idea to observe the speed limits, as it's a fairly well patrolled area. But it's always beautiful coming up over the gap. I wish I could tell you the names of all the mountains. Alright. So the top is in 1 kilometre, and here's our roadworks. Must be right at the very top, eh? Alright, let's see, roadwork. Lower down. Yeah, so it's only like, you know, a couple of k's up on this side. This is the western side. Look at that. Wow, big. So there's all walks through the bush there, or the bush walks. Alright, here we go. Containers, I think, is just full of rocks, just to you know, stop any rock slides. So we're just a few k's out of Arratula now. We'll slip into there, fuel up, and check my map on how to get to this place. So the weather report is it's going to be around 30 degrees today, so it'll warm up. But so far this morning it's been absolutely lovely. A few clouds starting to build up now, but I don't think there's any rain in it, that's for sure. So, lovely day all around. Alright, I'll go into Arachula and grab some fuel and we'll continue on our merry way. Turned on to Lake Mulgara Road. And I think the turn off is somewhere along here by the looks of the map. Alright, see when we turn off. So we're turning on to Spices Gap Road. There we go, Governor's Chair Lookout. 9 kilometres. Alright, okay, so that's where it turns to dirt, 4-wheel drive only. Four drivers playing up the hill there. We are, Governor's Chair, lookout 150 metres. G'day, here we are at Governor's Chair lookout. I haven't walked up to the actual lookout yet, but I'll waddle on up there in a sec and give you a look from when we get up there. So, a bit of history. It's originally known as Governor's Rock. The name changed in 1854 and in honour of Sir Charles Fitzroy, the Governor General of the Australian colony. So there you go. It was a favourite destination for governors in the early days, travelling to Spices Gap. I don't know why they travelled there, but they did, and this was a good rest area with a pretty spectacular lookout. It was a favourite destination for Queensland's first governor, who was George Bowen. We've all heard of Bowen, the town of Bowen, and you know, a lot of things named after Bowen around Brisbane, Bowen Bridge Road, stuff like that. Other travellers included Lord Lamington, you know, Lamingtons, and also a favourite spot of Aldous Huxley's grandfather. So we all know, you know, you should know who Aldous Huxley is. If you don't, look it up. Very famous author. Anyway, so it's at the Main Range National Park, about 120 k's southwest of Brisbane, and yeah, it's a lovely spot. There's some picnic areas and things on the way up there, so I might stop and just have a loop around them, have a look on the way back. Alright, let's go for a walk. No bikes. So Governor who? Hard to read, it's a bit all faded. Just down here, there's something or other. That was a nerve-wracking experience for bullocks and drivers. Both faced death every time they something Devil's Elbow. From the first descent by J. Popple in 1851, bullock teams used logs dragged behind their burgeoning drays to slow themselves down. This produced gouged ruts in the road and contributed to the constant need for road maintenance. So that was their brake. So happened to be log behind the cart. Oh. Yeah, okay. Bit different than the ABS we've got today, eh? Just about there. Don't know if the GoPro is going to pick all this up, but pretty spectacular as we reach the summit. There we go. So here we are. There's the mountains. So Mount Walker, Mount Edwards, the pointy one there, Mount French next to it. The other big one just over there must be Mount Greville, Mount Alfred, Mount Moon, Mount Maroon, and I can't make that the other one. Righto. Yep. Okay, just a big rock outcrop. So that big rock there would be what they call the chair, I suppose. That one there. Another track along here called the Heritage Trail. 3.2k return, which, which I won't do today. Where are these things? But it's worth coming back in the car one day. Come back with some walking shoes on. Okay, let's see what this one says. I can't read it. It's all needs to be renewed. The track was built in 1847 by local something or other. No. It was the Spices Gap track. Queensland's best known example of sophisticated probably 19th century civil engineering. So, yeah. They were a determined bunch back in the day. There's a track near our place called Gorman's Gap track, which was a crossing of the Great Divide up onto the Downs, which was one of the first crossings that was done, and it was pretty treacherous too for the bullock drays and all that. They had to winch some of them up and stuff, but man, they were determined to get there. Yeah. So this is a spot called Moss's Well. It's only 60 metres down the track, it says here, so I'll have a look. Don't know anything about this. Moss's Well. Oh, this one's who was Moss? Edward Moss. Might have to Google him. Numerous attempts were made to upgrade the road to make it safer and more accessible. Edward Moss was contracted to upgrade this section of the road to the east of Governor's Chair using logs as foundation. Moss did not complete his contract, and the Corduroy Road soon collapsed, making the route even more difficult to use. So, didn't finish his work, eh? Yep. I wonder what's left of it. There's a well. I wonder why they called it Coral Road. Keep going.
Good.
Getting some birds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What have you got so far?
Bird up here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Female only.
So that was Moss's Well. I didn't want to keep filming there with that fella. He's trying to be quiet and looking for birds. Well, that was an interesting little spot. Fella there waiting for birds. Okay, Pioneer Graves. Alright, well, let's go and have a look at the Pioneer Graves. Might as well do the full tourist thing. No. It's unreadable. Go on, Scenic Room Council, get onto that. To honour Harry Winifred Jones, the discoverer of and a frequent visitor to the cemetery, he built this cairn in 1932 to preserve part of a history laid to rest here, erected by the Royal Historical Society of Queensland, 15th of October 1967. Is raised to the memory of the something who sleep here till the day break and shadows flee away. Let's get in the history of the... I don't know what that one says. But it must be for the pioneers. I'm assuming those concrete things we see must mark the graves, I suppose. I don't know, I'll tell you. Anyway, there we go. That's the Pioneer Graves. Right. Okay, so here's a bit of a story. Bush burial, Pioneer Graves. Who and what were the people whose remains lie buried here? Their stories are virtually unknown. Their lives have become part of the secrets history keeps to itself. Many silent grave carries with it an untold story. It's believed that up to, I can't see, people are buried, 18? I don't know. People buried at the site. 5 are unaccounted for, 3 have scant records, and the remaining few have some controversy associated with their deaths. One grave is reputed to be that of Mrs. Collins, who, like many wives of bullock drivers, chose to help their husband in carting wool from the Darling Downs. Killed when thrown from their loaded wool dray while descending the steep Pinch narrow section of road, Mrs. Collins unwittingly entered Australian history commemorating the fatality. The Pinch now carries her name, Mother Collins Pinch, according to local law. The tiny grave beside Mrs. Collins is that of her infant child, also killed that fateful day. But without accurate records, who can be sure? So I didn't actually see actual graves. I don't know where they are. Maybe we'll come back and have a further explore one day. I was Governor's Chair, Spicer's Gap on the Main Range National Park. Now look at that big rock. What a beauty. Hey. So I'm going to, what's the time? Quarter to 11, might have an early lunch at Arachula. Definitely worth a look. Worth the lovely drive out through the country, ride out through the countryside, and go and have a look at some nice bushwalks. things. Beautiful. And around here is also, I think it's Maroon Dam and Mulgara Dam, I think. Places like that. This is all through the what we call the scenic rim. You can go back over that way east towards Boona and stuff. Yeah, lovely area. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that little touristy adventure. Something a bit different. Alright, let me know in the comments if you want to see more things like that. And yeah, when everybody else is busy and I'm not riding with a bunch of people, I can stop and go for a wander around. Yeah, we might do a bit more of it. Alright, thanks guys, hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, and see you next time.